Welcome to the podcast that is all about the world of marketing on television through TV shopping networks and infomercials. Are we on the air? I'm your host, Sean Wilson. For over 30 years, I hosted shows on cable shopping networks, and now I want to be your guide into this world, explaining how it works, why it works, what doesn't work, and introduce you to the people who are making it the success that it is today. We've got a good one today. A couple of different topics that we're going to cover. Getting into the world of infomercials for the first time in a while. I've kind of neglected this, and for reasons that I will go into, and it's a huge part. In fact, one of the infomercials we're going to focus on is hosted by a woman who was in the TV shopping industry at Home Shopping Network, and I think at Shop at Home before that, Connie Craig. And so, but kind of getting ahead of myself with that before we get into that, just a couple things I want to mention. First off, I finally, and I don't know why I waited so long to do this, I finally have a Facebook page strictly devoted to this podcast, and on it you can hear all of the past shows. So for those that have a tough time with podcasting apps and all of that, I just assumed everyone had Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all these things on their phone. An incorrect assumption on my part, I now know. Many people have a difficult time with podcasting apps or just don't choose to use one. So the Facebook page is Are We On The Air Podcast. Just search it. It is facebook.com/Are We On The Air Podcast. It's one of those you just click like, and then you will automatically get the updates there as shows go up. The entire archive of all the past episodes is there. This is 53, I think it is now. So it will be there. And one of the other reasons I'm doing that is because I am not going to be keeping the shows up on YouTube anymore. The most recent one will still be there, but otherwise I'm going to start taking them down. The reason is simply this. Social media sucks, and I don't have time to be monitoring all of the comments that are going up on YouTube. Now, again, most people are very nice, but every once in a while, there's the one that just, it has to come down. It's a little easier on Facebook. I can get notifications. But on YouTube, it's just so one person, I shouldn't say one person, several people have spoiled it for everyone. So the archive of the shows will still be on all the podcasting apps, but mainly then on Facebook. In fact, let me just go one. I wasn't going to dwell on this, but I do want to bring it up because it does tie in with what we're doing here. Because someone had posted on YouTube after my most recent show where we talked about the news from QVC and HSN, and this woman said, "You sound very happy to be delivering all this bad news." And I just... WTF, lady, what, were you listening to the same show I was? I mean, if anything, I thought I sounded very angry delivering all that news. I mean, I try and keep it lighthearted. This is not by any means going to be like, it's why I can't watch the primetime news network shows, because even if it's one of the shows where you generally agree with the host, everybody sounds angry on those. Even when they're speaking good news for your party, they still sound angry, and I can't watch those. But no, I thought, if anything, it came across angry, and I am angry over the results. Not that it's her business, but I have lost a lot of money on Q-Rate stock, the parent company of QVC. I'm not talking tens of dollars. I'm not talking hundreds of dollars. No. A lot of money on that stock. And so, if anything, it makes me very angry that the numbers are where they are. So, I kind of took a little offense to that. It's like, no, you really go back and listen to the entire first season, because we talked a lot about it. And speaking of Q-Rate, I got to just mention this because this just came out as we're recording the show. By the way, as we're recording the show, it is Marvin Siegel's birthday, good friend of the show. His dad founded QVC, and so a special happy birthday to Marvin. And have him back in a subsequent show so we can discuss more about QVC. But this news just came out today. Q-Rate Retail Group, the John Malone-backed owner of video screen shopping mainstays. Now, I'm going to stop there for a second. I love that verbiage. It's no longer TV shopping networks. It's no longer cable shopping networks. This is a Deadline.com article, by the way, so this is the real deal. They are now video screen shopping mainstays, QVC and HSN. Video screen... Brilliant! We're using that. We are totally stealing that. That is because it is a good way to describe it. They're video screen shopping services now. But anyway, they have installed former Amazon exec, and I apologize, I cannot pronounce his name. Sumaya Siramam. And I apologize because I know I'm probably not saying that correctly, as president of streaming. Now, why is this a brilliant move? Well, first off, she headed Prime Video channels at Amazon, focusing on driving subscriptions via Amazon for outlets like Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, and others. She'll be joining Qurate Retail Group's newest business unit, V-Commerce Ventures. The division operates the company's streaming service and is working to help QVC and HSN go beyond their linear TV base. Brilliant. Since the beginning of the year, according to the company, streaming viewership has grown by more than 70%, and the service has attracted 600,000 monthly active users. Look, it's the future, and for anyone that is still glued to their TVs, and listen, I am one of them. You know, we did a whole show on cord cutting. I cut the cord for about 3-4 months. Living in rural Texas, it's hard to really get a lot of over-the-air television stations, and plus I miss my live sport. I want to watch my Astros games, and so I now have one of those streaming, Fubo is what it is. It's one of the streaming service. So I'm back to a point with live streaming. They don't really carry shopping networks on it. But anyway, this is the future. It is your tablet. It is your iPhone. They just announced the new iPhones the other day. They're getting even larger because people are using them so much for streaming. So this is the future. It is so smart to bring in this woman who has experience in streaming. It's what she did. She did it for Amazon. It's no different, actually, than the brilliance of Barry Diller when he started QVC. For those that haven't heard this before, one of the things he did was he brought in a game show producer for the board of directors because QVC had their word game and their lucky number game and all these things, so he wanted that expertise. That producer, incidentally, is more than just a producer. He is the man who is responsible for creating the $64,000 question back in the 1950s, and for the life of me right now, of course, I can't think of his name, but, so he is the real deal. But anyway, he brought that experience to the early days of QVC, and now they're doing the same thing with this streaming expert. So I hope it works out. I think that's the smartest thing you can do. Go back again, listen to the past shows. We were just talking about streaming and viewing on screens has now beaten cable television viewing for the first time. So it's not just cord cutting, it is people streaming that is affecting things. So it is the future. And I've given QVC and HSN props for their app, QVC Plus. It is a brilliantly done app. It's destroys the competition as far as apps go. It just destroys them. There is no second best, at least as far as delivering content. And that's what it comes down to, is delivering content that you can access on demand. So, but anyway, so they're doing a great job with that, and I think she brings a lot of needed expertise. But I mentioned the topic of this show was infomercials because we haven't gone into the infomercial world in a while, and it is kind of interesting. In infomercials and direct response commercials, the little 2-minute commercials where you call an 800 number for a product or a service, are the other focus of this entire show. But every month, a list comes out, a marketing list that I subscribe to. It's the IMS report. It's monthly rankings. It's like the Billboard Hot 100, if you will, for the 2-minute commercials and for infomercials. Someone wrote a great article a few weeks ago that I was reading about the infomercial and the glory days of the late night infomercial in the 1990s, and it was always a cooking appliance. It was always some new gadget for your kitchen. We destroyed the Hulk grill on a season 1 episode, but those were all over the place on late night television, and the infomercial has evolved and changed as the needs, I think, of this country have changed. Most people have hit the point, I believe, where they've said, okay, enough with the kitchen appliances. We can't store them all, and we don't use them. I have a bread maker that's been used twice. I have an ice cream maker that's been used, I think, 3 times. So I'm as guilty as anyone as far as kitchen appliances. So they really have fallen off the list of the popular infomercials. In fact, number 6 on the Hot 100, we'll call it, meaning most frequently seen, is the Power XL NutriSealer. By the way, I do have a NutriSealer, not that one, but a different one. I love that. That really is, especially with meat prices what they are. Buy when they're on sale. This is my advice to everyone. I'm serious. When you see meat, especially at a place like Walmart, and it's on clearance because it's going to go bad that day, stock up, freeze it, and then just defrost it the day you're going to use it. We got a freezer in the garage. So that is a product I do use. But that's number 6. The next kitchen appliance on the Hot 100 list, I have to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I am down to number 37. I am not. There we go. Number 41, Power Air Fryer. Again, there's another product. I think most of us been there, done that, bought it. Great intentions. I do like my air fryer. That does get some use, but it's not living up to the early expectations. I'm not doing homemade fried chicken in that air fryer. I keep scrolling. Beauty, household, entertainment, education, entertainment, household. By the way, household things like Life Alert, entertainment, miscellaneous, kitchen. Okay, Miracle Blade is number 54 on the list. Can you believe that's still around? It's Miracle Blade 10. It's a Ginsu knife. Let's call it what it is. Scroll. Entertainment. And by the way, entertainment are things like the Best of Share, Time Life Presents. And I don't know how those things are still selling, but they apparently are. There's something called iTunes. You can get all that. Anyway, miscellaneous health and fitness, and that's another one that's going away. Entertainment. This is about it. There's another. Okay, number 79, Emerald Lagasse Forever Pans 2. So it's the next edition of those. And then his Power Grill is number 82 on the list. So point is, the kitchen appliance infomercial has gone the way of the horse and buggy, and they used to be all over TV. Right now, the number 1 is Legal Helpline. Number 2 is LifeLock. And then number 3 is the one I want to play for you. This is the one I mentioned Connie Craig is hosting. It's for Omega XL 39. Because vitamins, as I've mentioned many times, I have adamantly refused, in some cases, to sell supplements for the shopping networks I worked at, just because I think there's such a gray area there with some of the claims being made, and you really got to be careful when you're making medical claims. So there have been some times I've said, no, I am not selling that product. And to my boss's credit, every time they've said, okay, fair enough, we'll get someone else to host the show. But, by the way, go back and listen to the Steve Bryant episode about the one time he refused to get involved in supplements, shall we call it. It's really funny. But I'm going to play just a couple minutes of this, and we're going to kind of analyze this, because if you've ever wondered what makes a good infomercial and why do I get sucked in, have you had that happen? You get sucked in. There's something about that infomercial that is drawing you in, and that is the whole point of it. This is a good example of what to do. Let me make sure. Do I have my audio up here? Okay. Let's try this. Let's see. Omega XL.
This program is a paid presentation for Omega XL.
And again, stopping immediately because, again, that's something legally they have to do now. Early 1990s, I think it was 92, 93, Congress got involved and said, hey, if you're going to do a 30-minute commercial, you need to disclaim at the start, at the stop, that what you're watching is a commercial. And as I pause this, the fine print begins. So there's a big graphic, Omega XL by Great Healthworks. Let me read to you the fine print, which no one reads. The statements made during the show have not been evaluated by the FDA. Omega XL is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent. In fact, by the way, I have to start this again because I'm going to start a timer. And I'm going to tell you why as soon as I'm done. So here is the fine print that they have on screen. The statements made during this show have not been evaluated by the FDA. Omega XL is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. All questions regarding the use of Omega XL with medications and particular health patterns should be discussed with your healthcare provider. Omega XL is a dietary supplement. When used daily as directed, studies show that individuals will experience varying levels of relief from pain, improved mobility, and reduced inflammatory discomfort after 4 to 8 weeks. Individual results may vary depending on lifestyle. Now, that took me 27.9 seconds to read. There is a rule in television, and again, this is the problem with the fact that if you hang out at a TV station long enough, you're going to get hired these days. You don't need to take the college classes that I did to get into TV. The rule in TV is if a graphic is on screen and it's not being read by someone, meaning out loud, like I just did for you, you need to leave it up 3 times the duration that it takes to read it. because someone then is responsible for reading it themselves, and it needs to be on screen 3 times longer than necessary for someone to read it. So that took me 30 seconds. So in theory, that graphic should be up for a full 90 seconds. It's about to go off screen, and we're 4 seconds
Brought to
in.
you by Great Health Works.
The graphic is now off screen. So 9 seconds you had to read all of that. We continue.
Welcome. My name is Connie Craig Carroll, and I'm so glad that you are joining me. Chances are you or someone you know is dealing with the challenges and the limitations of pain.
Okay, there you go. What a great question. Chances are, yeah, we all know someone who's dealing with the challenges and the limitations of pain. So already I'm interested. It's like, I wonder what she's got to say about that. Because, yeah, that's me, or that's my mom, or that's a neighbor, that's someone I know. So, good way to start the infomercial.
Challenges and the limitations of pain in our back, knee, shoulders every day.
Back, knee, shoulders. That is where most people are going to have pain every day. It's those areas. Probably someone listening to the show that says, Sean, I have ear pain every day. Okay, you're the exception. Maybe this, but those are the places most people have pain. So again, great start.
We seem to miss out on life because we just can't find relief.
Okay, again, if you are dealing with that chronic pain, I don't know if you heard what she said there. Maybe I should have backed it up a little bit because she talked about missing out on life. Let's try that again.
And we seem to miss out on life because we just can't find relief.
You don't want to miss out on life, and the video's great. You see some grandparents looking out the window at some family members frolicking in the snow, having fun. They're missing out because they're suffering from pain. This is a brilliant infomercial, so I'm buying. Where's my credit card? I'm buying this.
What that's like. Joint pain can...
I would keep backing it up a couple seconds. There we go.
Because we just can't find relief. I know what that's like.
She knows what it's like, so now she can relate. So my gosh, I know what it's like. She knows what it's like. So we are on the same page. Whoever wrote this, because again, the infomercials are scripted, by and large. 99% of them are. Whoever wrote it, brilliant job. I'm in.
Pain can be such a burden. Today we're going to tell you about Omega XL, a product that millions of people have trusted to relieve their pain for the last 16 years.
Okay, so people have relied on this for 16 years to relieve their pain. My gosh. By the way, I'm reading the bottle for the first time. I never noticed this as I'm freezing this. I'm seeing things. On the bottle, it says Omega XL, a powerful essential fatty acid combination from the pristine waters of New Zealand. Contains 30 free fatty acids.
A one-of-a-kind anti-inflammatory supplement that could literally change your life.
All right, that's it. Change my life. That's what I need. She said it. That could literally change my life. By the way, I love when people use the word literally. Remember, literally means just that. Literal. I used to listen to a radio show, and when the phones would heat up, the host would say, the phones have literally exploded. Well, I'd get out of the way then, because your phones are literally blowing up. They are exploding. You've got to call the fire department. But no, if she's saying this is literally going to change my life, who's not in?
Just like it has for millions of others.
I was in a lot of pain.
Testimonial
I
time.
felt like this is a miracle for me in my life. I have grandkids that I love to play with, and it's hard to get out and play.
By the way, she's talking, disclaimer, bottom of the screen. Again, you would pretty much have to freeze the picture, as I've just done, to see it. Omega XL is a dietary supplement. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Omega XL is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Your joints are hurting you.
Man, I've really, really felt the pain. I mean, in my ankles and in my heels, especially my heels. It felt like somebody was driving nails into my heels. I can't tell you how bad that pain was. I mean, it was so excruciating. And I started taking it, and I mean, the pain it just went away.
6 years ago, Christmas, I broke my back.
Listen, the music in the background, too. Brilliant job. It says very melodramatic music, sets the mood. Oh, this is as good as it gets in an infomercial. Talk about reeling you in.
Agony was prolonged pain. I can't even tell you how many things I tried. Then I heard about Omega XL.
Aha!
The pain just started going away. After so many years, it just started disintegrating. It's just back to myself again. I can't even tell you how marvelous this has been for me. It's just marvelous.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to tear up.
Today, I'm joined by a gentleman that has literally dedicated his life to improving people's health and well-being. A health and wellness expert, a visionary leader combined with years of experience in fitness, sports, and pain management.
Good.
He is the CEO and founder
lot of credentials.
Great Health Works, Mr. Ken Mears. Hello, sir.
Must have been shot during COVID. Looks like they're socially distanced by 6 feet. And then again, they get into an explanation here. A couple things to note. This is hitting all the marks. If I had my checklist, this hits them all. You have the expert out here. One thing to be careful of with this, again, this is a dietary supplement, i.e. a vitamin. So it's not like it's there like an Excedrin. Great job, Sean. Could you come up with a more obscure? Who's taken an Excedrin in 30 years? It's not like an Advil or an ibuprofen or anything like that. This is a dietary supplement. And if it's worked for these people, great. God bless them. Now, remember, again, in the fine print, it says 4 to 8 weeks. So don't get this home, because I'm sure many people do. They get it home and think immediately, I'm going to start popping these pills and I'm going to feel different. It says you got to use this for 4 to 8 weeks. So, but it's the number 3 running infomercial right now. Incidentally, something just before we close out this show and this topic here, the other thing that's vanished from the infomercial list is fitness gear. Have you noticed that? That was the other thing that you used to always see so much of. You have Total Gym in number 7 on the list, the Total Gym 33. You have, what else do you actually have? Peloton is on the 2-minute list, because that's usually just a 2-minute commercial. There is not much there. In fact, actually, since I just mentioned that, just very quickly here, the top 100 direct response commercials, meaning the 2-minute, 1 or 2 minute things that you see on TV, call this 800 number. Number 1 is DirecTV. Number 2 is Indeed.com. Number 3 is Hulu. That surprised me. I don't think I've seen Hulu that much. Number 4, Liberty Mutual. Yeah, I see that one. Oh, good. Orson, do we? Yeah, I thought, boy, that was loud, Orson. Disney Plus, number 5. Verizon, number 6. The Farmer's Dog. I have no idea what that is. Number 7, Dish Network. That's another one we see a lot. Number 8, Progressive. Number 9, Chime Banking. Number 10, yeah, I see that one a lot. So, I don't know, just interesting to see what is on those lists. Hey, do not forget the new way to find the show and find me, the new Facebook page, Are We On The Air Podcast. Make sure you get the whole thing right. Twitter, Sean Wilsey. Instagram, S Wilsey. And thank you for downloading this edition of Are We On The Air? YouTube, by the way, don't forget, Sean Wilsey. YouTube.com/Sean Wilsey. This has been a King Bobby production.
Yes, I know, Travis. That's why we give such bargains.